How you doing, Gemini? It's November 2024. Let's get this wheel going so you can see why this month is critical in terms of your health. You see this new moon on the 1/2 November is going to activate this 6th house of your horoscope. Mercury is also there, which is your ruling planet. It's very, very significant in terms of your health and also in terms of how it ties in with this 10th house retrograde Saturn. 10th house retrograde Neptune. We talked about this on several occasions, but with a new moon taking place here in the 6th house, in a loose triangular aspect to these planets in the upper part of your horoscope, it means that your work is impacting your health. We've talked about that as well. Retrogression of Saturn. Saturn in the 10th house is very, very difficult often because it makes work hard, it makes it tedious, it causes obstacles, people are throwing spanners in the works, you're not able to get your head around the work in question, and you may not have enough time to do the job at hand. And over and above any of that, if you're in a line of work that does not sit with your spiritual gifts, which sits with who you are as a person, then of course that sets up a whole lot of resistance, which in turn is going to manifest as disease. We see that Pluto had its retrogression into this 8th house. It's going to move out very, very shortly in November. That means that all of this inner work that you've done on yourself, and there you see a peak, a little mini peak again with the moon transiting Saturn in the 10th house, making you feel a little bit down about your work. And this Pluto in the 8th house, softened by the entry of Venus into this sector on the 12th, gives you a little bit more confidence that the trials and tribulations that you've been going through are not in vain. You'll notice the 12th house full moon on the 16th is also significant. It again reactivates this 6th house of health, workplace conditions, and gives you time to pause. I think that's very, very important at this particular time. There it is there. It's in conjunction with that sudden and unexpected planet, Uranus, in your 12th house. 12th house is a house of seclusion, a house of pulling back, of just relaxing and doing as little as possible. You deserve that. This is a nice conjunction to Jupiter in your sun sign. That gives you feelings of warmth, conviviality, and a more confident sort of nature. The 6th house transit of the sun also ends when it moves into the 7th house on the 22nd of November to make contact with Mercury. So activation of this 7th house of relationships is important. And you'll keep your eye on this Mercury transit as well, Gemini, because that shows us retrogression, a review also of your relationships. It's nice to know Saturn goes into its direct motion, so whatever revision you had over your work is probably now clearly understood, giving you an opportunity to move forward. You've still got some way to go there with Saturn's transit in your 10th house, hard work, and a question as to whether or not you're up to the task of the responsibilities that may be added to you. Mars is moving into what we call an inconjunction of Saturn here. That is like an 8th glance, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 onto this Saturn. You have to be careful of that as you near the end of the month, because there's a growing tension that there are obstacles there in your way. But here, the 3rd house, Mars, causes you to push, shove, demand, and that's not going to work. Because if you've got an immovable object, the irresistible force is not going to get its own way all that easily. So it's a time for deep breathing. There's Pluto moving into the 9th house. There's that Sun moving into the 7th. 9th house is your values, along with your 2nd house. 2nd house, rulership by the moon, tells us the new moon and the full moon this month strongly activate the 2nd house. And then Pluto moving into the 9th house, your values definitely change. You're learning new things. You're open to understanding. And you're also open to destroying those things which have held you back from that which is your heart's desire. North Node is in this area as well. North Node is your karmic point, 11th house of desires. You have to find a way to achieve what you want, but not by doing things that don't sit well with you, things that are causing frustration and poor health. That, I think, is the theme for this month. There's more. You've got the kitchen knives as well for $9.99, Gemini. Follow those links over to astrology.com.au. We've got a lot more information there for you. Again, no charge, but in return, please subscribe, drop us a like, drop me a note if you need to ask me something, and I'll be here again next month to give you a little more information on the last month of 2024. Take care till then. Bye-bye.